Video?
Yeah, we're going.
Oh, we're doing it?
Yeah.
We're doing it live!
Ooh, mics are good?
Check.
Is this thing,
You know, I don't know. Last time we had a big scare.
Yeah, dude, you gotta press the button to see the lines, man.
You gotta see the lines. There they
One,
are.
two, 1, 2.
1,
Nice.
2, baby.
All right.
All right, let's go.
Here we go, bro.
So, how we feeling, Max?
Fucking sick, dude.
Yeah, you haven't been feeling well, eh?
Yeah.
It's been rough, dude. And like, there's something going around.
I know, Rose is sick.
Yeah, was.
Yeah, she's coming out of it. I think the heat stroke I had Wednesday
Set you
probably
under. Triggered.
Yeah, probably just crashed my immune system, you know?
For sure.
And because Thursday I worked. Man, we did a job in a fucking insane house, dude. Did I tell you about this house?
A little bit, I think, yeah.
It was like a 3-story house with a rooftop. So there was a set of stairs going up to the rooftop, no elevator, and we were doing work on the 3rd floor.
Whoa.
So every single thing that we had to bring up, we had to go up three
stories.
Yes.
Yeah, floors.
3 stories.
Yeah.
And every single time we had to get something from the car or the truck or whatever, we had to go back down and all the way back up.
That's the worst.
That was crazy, bro.
That is the worst gig, dude.
Yeah. So by Friday, yesterday, when I woke up, I went to work, then I was like, man, there's something going on, you know? There's something not 100%. And then eventually I called it. I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm sick.
Yeah.
You know, there's always that.
Acknowledge it. You're like,
yeah.
I
There's
don't
always
do it.
that resistance, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to be sick. I don't want to do this, but
Yeah.
you know what? On the other hand, being sick is fucking dope.
Yeah, dude, you get to just sit around, do nothing. You kind of
And
it's
not
like the
feel
permission.
guilty about it.
Yes, you got the permission to just do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Like-
So I got home real early Friday because I had like just a very small amount of work to do in the morning, and I got home super early, and I've been chilling ever since, dude.
That's
Fucking
amazing.
soups,
Ah, beautiful soups.
yeah, and vitamins, and that's it.
Do you have a go-to strategy for? Do you have like a sick remedy kind of like solution?
No, not really. I mean, soups, you know, just like a lot of soups, a lot of
Where did we get that? That whole like thing
Lipton
is like,
soup.
No, but like it's just like you're sick.
Yeah.
Soup.
Yeah.
You know, like why?
I honestly think.
Where does that come
I
from?
honestly think, dude, for real, I honestly think it's a marketing genius.
Dude, because why isn't it like you're sick? Mangoes. Like why can't it be
Mangoes have a bunch of
Dude,
vitamins too, for
sure
sure.
they do, you know, but
Yeah.
like why aren't people like, oh man, you want me to bring you some mangoes?
Yeah.
That would be the greatest.
Man, I remember in elementary school, I remember even the teacher saying Lipton soup,
It's so weird.
like specifically
Yeah.
Lipton soup.
It's like canned freaking not great. Sometimes it's the powder thing.
That's how I get it.
Yeah, I know.
Like
it just,
like a pouch, you know?
yeah, I know. It just doesn't really make too much sense. But again, like I think we should start a thing where anytime somebody's sick now, I'm gonna be like, mangoes.
You need some
You
mangoes.
need some mangoes, dude.
But I think it has to be warm. I think it has to be warm and it has to be liquid.
Oh,
'Cause, you know,
it's
like-
easy to go down when your throat hurts, maybe.
Yeah, I guess so. Or like the honey ginger tea.
That's part of my mix, dude.
Yeah.
The honey ginger lemon mix.
Lemon tea.
Yeah, that's a big one for me.
So yeah, I've been doing that. I've been drinking.
So you do have a thing, dude.
Well, no. Well, look.
You just named Lipton soup, which is a classic.
Yeah.
You named the honey ginger
I
kind
know,
of
but
variation.
but I'm not doing that though. I got matcha stuff at home, and I'm mixing it with green tea, and
Oof.
that's just because that's what I got at home.
That's some antioxidant
Yeah.
powerhouse right there.
Is it?
Man, green tea and matcha is like, pew.
And then some girl told me to get oil of oregano
Damn.
drops
What do you put it in your eyes?
right in my fucking throat. It tastes like shit, bro.
Oh yeah.
It's so horrible. Have you ever done that?
I don't know, like the oil of oregano. Oh, dude. Maybe. Actually, I'm not 100% sure, but maybe there's another person who told me something about black seed oil. That tastes like ass, dude.
What the hell is black seed?
I don't know, bro. But it's like super potent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, anyways, I'm sure they all taste the same. Just bitter and nasty.
And then I'm taking zinc pills and
Bro,
vitamin C
you
and vitamin
totally
D.
have a thing.
No. This isn't a thing. This is me I got a big job on Monday, dude. I cannot be sick on Monday.
I hear you.
So it's me like doubling down, you know? I was
Yeah, but-
like, you tell me what you do. I'm doing it. You tell me what you do. I'm doing it.
Nice. What can I throw into this mix?
Sure.
What
I'm
do I
going to the
do?
grocery store right after this, dude.
Yeah, epic. I'm a big fan, dude. I crush that ginger stuff. I tend to take a pill called echinacea, if that means anything to you.
I don't know what
It's
it is,
like
but
a
I'll
grass
take it.
pill, but like.
Is it possible for me to take too much?
I mean, apparently, like with vitamins and minerals, like you just pee them out. And
Because
then your
I've
pee
been-
becomes like fluorescent.
Yeah.
yellow.
I've
So,
been
ooh.
chewing on those vitamin C, C plus D3.
Yeah.
They say like take one. I've been taking like 5, 6 and shit.
The vitamin C stuff like tends to make your poop a little funny if you have too much vitamin C. It's like eating too many oranges.
That's okay. Am I going to heal faster?
Maybe. I
All
hope.
right, so I'll
We got to get you in some sun, man. You're looking a little white.
really?
I think the sun.
I think that's
yeah.
just the sickness, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Throw
dude.
you out on some
You know,
sand.
when I was at home watching TV, I was like, I don't even think I'm sick. And then and then I came out and I got here and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
I'm
fuck, I
sick.
am sick, bro.
Yeah, because you
It's
have like,
it's a chest thing.
but you have like a limited window of energy, and then your body just starts being like,
Yeah.
"Yo, busted, dude." Like, so don't worry, we'll get you out of here. But listen, Max, there's
Yeah.
a couple of things. Like, I hope you feel better, and I love you.
Thank you.
Yesterday, you missed the belt promotion.
I know, bro. I wanted to come, but I couldn't.
Yeah, I know for sure. Like, and it's totally understandable. I tried my best to take some videos. There are some really fun moments, but before we even talk about the belt promotion,
Yeah.
we totally skipped
Yeah.
talking about the competition
Yeah.
and the aftermath of the competition.
Grappling Industries, New Hampshire, me, you, JP.
Oh, dude, I didn't even mean that competition. I actually meant SAU.
We
but-
did talk about. We did a whole episode about it. It came out this morning, dude.
Oh my God, we spoke about it.
Yeah, we did a whole like the day after we did. Remember, we thought the mics didn't work. We're like, we got to do another
Dude,
podcast.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
living
yeah.
on borrowed time. I don't even know where I am right now.
Yeah,
But yeah,
no.
we did do that.
Yeah,
but
it
yes.
came out. Came
All
out.
right, that's epic.
Yeah.
So they better watch that episode
Yeah,
because
it came out this morning.
okay, good stuff. Did we say anything fun on that one?
I don't remember. I think so.
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, me, you, and JP had our own little
Yeah,
outing, and like just for context, you know, especially for me,
yeah,
it's very hard to be both coach at like these, you know, SAU events and whatnot, and a competitor. Actually, for me, if I'm being really honest, it's literally impossible.
Plus, you work the SAUs, man.
Yeah, on top of
You
that, I'm
can't
helping
do it
with
all,
the
dude.
event. Yeah, it's impossible. It's literally impossible.
Yeah.
But more than anything, and I think you had a little bit of that experience in seeing me. Probably that's the first time you see me compete
Yep.
at the, you know, there is an energy there. Like there's nervous, there's stuff
Yeah.
that I'm dealing with, my own demons, and I can't both deal with my demons and the team. So that's why I choose not to compete when the team is competing.
Right.
Because there, you know, maybe this is a flaw of character, but there's just not enough. I don't have that capacity. I don't have that energy. I just can't. I can't be selfish and truly be of service for my team at the same time. So that's a little bit of the philosophy why, you know, like going to a New Hampshire with you and JP made a lot of sense, is because, you know, we're a small group and that allows me to be selfish and kind of be in my own little
Yeah.
space.
Right. Yeah.
I just wanted to say that because a lot of times people are like, oh, why don't you compete at the event? And I'm like, you know, because like I can't be in that headspace.
When you compete, you want to focus on yourself and your performance.
Yes.
You want to be a little isolated within your own you know, desires, let's say.
yeah, like
so
and
so
it's
you
a whole
can't-
thing.
yeah.
You know, like you saw me, like I'm sitting there,
Yeah,
start
you
listening to
you
stuff.
got the
I go,
headphones
you
in,
know,
you're concentrating, you're doing your
trying my
warm up,
best. Man, I gotta give you.
you know, your time, your mat. You gotta be locked in.
Yeah, man, and dude, I gotta say, like, you saved me on that day. We were sitting on the mats, like, just so that everybody's kind of. So we get to New Hampshire.
Yeah.
We go through a whole weight cutting situation, which I didn't have to do because like I was fighting in a weight category above. Like I stepped on the scale with my boots on. I was like, still underweight. The guy was like, you're good. But you and JP had to manage your weights. And anyways, we'll get back to a little bit of that. But when we walked into the venue, it was actually a pretty cool venue. It was it's like a sports center.
Yeah,
There were
big
kids
sports
like
center.
playing basketball and like handball, and like there were actually like a bunch of activities. And then
Yeah.
within the hockey rink,
Yeah.
they had set up the mats, and like what was awesome is that all around the mats was turf,
Yeah.
and so you can turn any spot into
A mat, yeah.
a mat
You
slash
could
a
you
warm
could
up
roll
zone.
on it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it was actually like pretty comfortable to roll on.
I gotta be honest with you, dude. When we walked in, first of all, I went around
Venue.
the whole rink to see if there were spots to warm up. I didn't see any. So then I found you guys, right? And then we dropped our stuff. And then I think like almost immediately after, I started warming up with JP, and I think we started that trend because no one else was warming up before we were.
I have to tell you, I feel the same way. People were just sitting,
Yeah,
you know, and we're like, you know, and but again, the whole story was that I had a little bit of resistance because it's like, you know, like I want to focus. I don't know, some BS that I was telling myself, and you were like, hey, you should warm up. I know this sounds super silly, but I have literally never warmed up. I
Yeah.
never warm up. I just kind of sit there. I stretch. I do like some mobility stuff, but I don't actually warm up in terms of like any drilling.
yeah,
And for the sake of this show, one of our questions is,
yeah,
which I'm totally making up right now on the spot, but I'm sure somebody has asked somewhere, hey,
yeah.
what is your pre-competition routine?
Yeah.
And Max, I actually think because you gave me the best advice that day, like, what do you think is the best pre-workout, pre-competition kind of routine so that you can touch that mat for match one and feel ready to go? Like, what are the steps here? What do we got to tell the people? Like, hey, this is a good protocol for you.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You're asking me?
Oh yeah, I'm asking you.
First of all, I completely fucked up that morning. Dude, I self-sabotaged so bad, so dude, it was so bad, bro.
I
It was-
loved every. I mean, the part of the diner was like a like
Bro.
as a fan of yours, Max.
Yeah.
The part of the diner was amazing
Yeah.
because when you asked the girl, the waitress, excuse me, what a fritter was, I was like, dude, don't ask her what a fritter is right now. We're competing in 4
Yeah, I know.
hours.
But look, the last SAU I did, I'm gonna answer that question.
All right.
Okay. The last SAU I did, I had cut weight. That morning, I had lost like 8 pounds. My friend Sammy drove me to the venue. I weighed in. Then we went to a restaurant. I drank some electrolyte bullshit. Then I ate a full breakfast. Then we went back to the venue.
What was the breakfast?
Like eggs, potatoes, bacon, you know,
Oh wow.
toast.
Yeah.
We went back to the venue. I digested. I moved around a bit. Then I competed. And it was fine. I did good. I only had like 2 matches, but it doesn't matter. I wasn't feeling nauseous. I
You
think
crushed. You got gold.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I even had like a Red Bull before. Okay?
You had energy to spare, bro.
Yeah, I did. So going to New Hampshire, I was thinking it's the same thing. Like we had, so I didn't have like 4 hours or did I have 4 hours to
You did, dude.
whatever it was.
We got there at 8.
Yeah.
You know?
That morning, we weighed in. Then we went back out for breakfast.
Yeah, we
That's-
weighed in
that's
and
what
then,
happened, right?
then we went for the breakfast.
And I love you and me, bro.
We love
We
it. bro.
love American diners.
I mean, love it. I saw the receipt in the kitchen and I was like, damn,
yeah.
I gotta go back.
It was so good,
It's
bro.
so good.
And they had stuff on the menu that we don't have here. And I saw it, and I'm like, I think I know what this is. It's gonna be a fried thing with country gravy on it.
It was fried meatloaf.
Yeah, it was basically a fried hamburger with fucking white gravy on it, bro. And I know how they make their hash browns.
Yeah.
And there was a biscuits.
Not one biscuit, dude. Yeah, biscuits.
Yeah.
Biscuits.
And they were big. They weren't regular, but they
No.
were so good. I think they were
Of
fried.
course they're good.
They were so good, bro.
They're made out of butter. A biscuit
Yeah.
is literally 80%
Yeah.
butter.
And I saw that on the menu, and I was thinking, I never come to America, bro. This is what I want.
This is what we need.
And I honestly thought I was gonna be fine. Now, granted, I've been having stomach problems leading up to this. Even in the gym, I don't talk about it too much, but like I've been fucking around with pre-workout now for probably like 2 years.
Yeah, it's too much pre-workout.
I take a pre-workout almost every time before I roll.
Yes.
And I do get nauseous, like either before I roll and then right after I roll. You know, I'm like, I take a few steps and I have to like stop myself to be like, all right, hold on, we're not puking right now.
We're holding on.
And so,
It's like those raccoons, you know, when they kind of like put their hands up and they're like, "Don't move."
Yeah.
That's you. You're like, "Don't move."
yeah, exactly,
literally.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it backfired, man. At the venue, so we ate, we went to the venue, and I just got so nauseous. Like so I had to I had to forfeit, and I feel like a bitch about it. I feel
Dude,
really bad
come on.
about
You
it.
were really busted. Like I saw it. I was like, "Oh man, he's really not well."
For real?
Like you could see it in your posture and in your energy. Like you could see it in somebody's energy when they're not well.
Yeah.
Like you could see it on their face almost, you know. Like you weren't well. Like but it was a funny dynamic because like I know like you hold on, you know, and rightfully to like your sovereignty. And like we have JP. JP's like, "Ah, come on, bro, you can do it." And you're like, "I just told you I can't do it." JP's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
all right."
Yeah, I know, bro.
That was good. But yeah,
It's,
so listen, the country gravy, the biscuits, the hash
Dude,
brown, the
it was
coffee.
so good, man.
Dude, I know it was so good because you were like, Abby, as soon as you took a bite, you were like, "You have to try
have
this."
to try this,
And I was
bro.
like, I know I do. I did try it,
You
but in
did,
my
man.
mind, I was like, I was like, do I self-sabotage?
You oh, and the night before I was eating jujubes.
Oh my God. Jujubes,
Beef
chocolate,
jerky.
cheddar, what was that cheese whiz looking cracker thing that you
crackers
had?
and, like, Ritz crackers,
Yeah,
everything. I
beef jerky. We bought a
Yeah.
full bag of beef jerky.
I completely self-sabotage with food, and it's
The,
gross.
the sugar candy.
Yeah.
You
I
had
know.
like a bag.
know.
It was a giant bag of sugar
bro,
candy.
it's so stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, it's like, you know, big lesson learned. Like if I'm going to compete, it's almost like I know this, but for some reason I thought I could wing it with food.
Dude, but this is kind of like, and the point of, let's say, like the pod today is all of those motions that you went through
Yeah.
and that we all go through.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Isn't that like part of what you need to be aware of at the very least so that you can control prior to your competition
Yes.
date? Isn't this part
Yeah.
of
Absolutely.
the routine that one has to go through?
100%.
It's not only, hey, you know, have a good night's sleep and, you know, warm up or whatever. There are things that we do to ourselves.
Yeah.
And that it's everybody, it's different, man. But it's like these small
It's
little
funny,
things.
It's like the things that are in your control, and then the things that are outside your control, right? So the things that are in your control, it's like diet. If you got to cut weight, you know, you can't. That's in your control. You know, just start dieting a week before. If you got to go in the sauna to lose some water weight, you can do that too. You can warm up before your match. You can
Yeah,
surround yourself. Yeah.
You can also like get within weight. Like you don't want to. You're not gonna be a nut job trying to lose 12 pounds the morning of. You know, like,
Yeah.
dude.
True.
One, this is not that serious, and two, you're nuts. Like, don't risk your health. Like these kind of drastic weight cuts it's insane. You know, like there's a lead up, and the lead up is like, yo, get within a couple of pounds of your situation. Like that
Yeah.
is within your control to kind of like, you know, just get there where it's like, okay, it's a pound or two. Yeah, maybe a sauna situation will work that out.
Yeah.
Maybe like a treadmill will work that out. But, you know, accept the responsibility that you put on yourself. You know, like JP at one point was like 8 pounds overweight or something like that. Like I think the day before or something like that. And he was like, I'm 177 pounds. I was like, what? Something wild like that. I'm like, how are we going to do this? And he's like, I don't know. And that morning when he woke up in the hotel, he was like, I'm going to go treadmill. Dude, and this kid, the treadmill was like on the highest incline. Bro, he was going at it. I was like, damn.
It's you know, I don't think that losing weight is that much of a big deal, man. I've done it. I've done it every time I've competed. I've lost The only reason why I didn't have to lose weight this one is because I've gained weight, and now I'm in a different weight class. Like I couldn't lose. Like I've gained like actual weight now that I can't just lose on a dime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. You're
But if
walking
it's
around at a different weight.
yeah, but if it's just a bit of water weight, like bro, it's not a big
Yeah, a
deal.
bit of water weight is one thing. I'm saying like when it's like 10 pounds, dude. That tournament that me and you went to together, and we had to drive around finding a gym for you to get on a bike
Yeah.
and on a treadmill. Like, I mean,
Yeah, it was a bit tough, but
that's a little weird. Like,
yeah,
we're shooting it kind of close.
yeah,
But I mean,
yeah.
anyways, ultimately, bottom line, storyline is when it comes to shaping a little bit of your strategy and like your kind of like pre-competition routine, I think that there are a bunch of things that people can do that are within their control. I mean, not only within their control, but that are obvious. And then there are a few other things that are not so obvious. The few other things that are not so obvious, I think, without sounding harsh, but like that was the failure of New Hampshire.
For me,
Yes, is because we didn't have those things in check where it's like, wait a second.
I feel like I failed at the obvious.
Oh, really? I think this is like more of like it's well, we love diners, we like
Yeah,
eating
yeah.
food. Like it caught you by surprise a little bit, like you were in that moment and you had a
I
moment
mean,
of
I didn't think that
weakness.
I was gonna be not. You know, the other thing is that I'm getting older, man. My stomach just isn't the same.
That's real.
You know, so it's like it's also a learning curve of like, look, when you get older, your body changes, and you can't eat the same things. You know, you can't digest the same things as quick as you used to. You know, things have different effect. We're masters athletes. You know, we're not
Masters
young.
3.
Yeah, we're not young 20-year-old athletes anymore, man. We
That's not the
gotta
same
be a
vibe.
bit. Yeah, so I think that that should have been obvious. Obviously, like, don't eat greasy food 2 hours before you're competing.
Yeah, that is actually yes, that is kind of an
Yeah,
obvious.
the
But
the the less obvious things, and even the things that it's like a bit of more of a personal thing or a gray zone, are things like what's my mindset, or how much do I warm up, how long before my match do I warm up, things like that.
yeah, yeah. I guess me the less obvious kind of situation is it has to do a little bit with your insecurities and with your kind of like the tricks that you like to play on yourself.
Yeah.
You know, for example, like, oh, this is not my case, but it's just an example that came to mind. Like maybe you have a competition the next day and then you didn't sleep super well.
Yeah.
Maybe a part of you kind of like again self-sabotaged. So now you're kind of fighting like your own subconscious in a way because you're like, okay, oh man, I didn't sleep, and then you're complaining, and then you have this like excuse to lose,
Mm.
where sometimes I don't know, like I've known people like this who self-sabotage in a way that they don't even realize consciously that they're
Mhm.
self-sabotaging.
Mhm.
And to some weird extent, like I thought that that's what happened with you a little bit, but like now after the fact you're like, it's obvious, but it was like maybe just a subtle self-sabotage that you kind of weren't
You know,
fully
to be honest
aware
with you,
of. But
I didn't really. I knew that I was signed up to compete, but I didn't think about it at all that week. You know, it's like I didn't take any of this seriously. I don't really know where my mind was in terms of how I felt about competing. You know, I didn't prepare at all for it. I feel like, my mindset was, and Abby, you know this about me. I'm not a guy who gets nervous when I compete.
you don't. I
I,
am.
yeah, I don't know why that is. I only get nervous like right when I'm about to get on the mat, and right when I'm on the mat doing jujitsu. You know, like I feel it a bit more in my body. You know, but leading up to that, I never check to see who my opponent is. I never check to see what time my mat is. I don't know why. It flies way over my head.
I mean, honestly, amazing. It's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, so for that competition, my mindset was I'm just gonna go in just like I was going to an open mat, and it that basically is what it is. You know, I
You-
like I was gonna have 5 matches, so
Yeah.
it's a lot. So I didn't want to feel the pressure, and I was just thinking to myself, another walk in the park. Doesn't even matter. I'm going there with my friends. I know I have a good game. I'm confident in my game. I'm confident in my jiu-jitsu. I do well at the club with people who are my belt and my weight. So why would it be different? You know?
That's the most beautiful language, like prep.
Yeah.
I mean,
Except
that's
for I ate a lot of shit food and
yes,
it backfired on me.
that's the zinger that you didn't see
Yeah.
coming. In a
Yeah.
way, it's obvious after the fact, but it's also obvious for me to say, "Yo, you should have slept well last night." When the people self-sabotage, like they are obvious, but for whatever reason, in the moment, you were completely
Yeah. But then again, look, you cannot choose if you can sleep good or not. You know, nerves are somewhat out of your control and can keep you up at night.
yeah, 100%.
You know, I think, yeah, yeah. Having that as a reservation for you to feel okay with losing, if you do lose, that's maybe,
Well, there were like these stories about like John Jones. Like he's a really good example of this. He would say stories that like apparently like before like a bunch of his like championship fights when he was champion, like he would go out and he would booze
yeah,
and he would get like wild and like when they looked into it a little bit deeply, it's kind of like he was mentally finding a I mean, taking off an edge in a weird way, where it's
yeah,
like, if I lose, I can fall back on, yeah, but I freaking went out last night till 4 in the morning on a binge drinking night, like, which again, like, it goes two ways. Like he had that weird thing of like being like, if I lose, like it's okay because I can fall back on that excuse, and so he would create that excuse. But then on the flip side, you're like, damn, bro, you did all that and you were messed up by going out, like.
yeah. It's like a win-win situation for him, right?
Exactly. He
Yeah.
would create like this,
No,
like,
I'm not. I'm not like that though. When I compete, I'm normally very. I want to win. I'm normally very. You know, it's like we were saying in the last podcast. A little bit of a defect of character for me is that I'm so focused on the outcome. I want to win. I don't even care how I win. I just want to win, which is a thing that I need to work on now in my coming in for the next time that I compete. I need to focus more on not winning, but how I get to the competition. You know, like how I prepare my mental state. You know, actually
no, I think it's perfect. Well, what can you do there? Like, you took off, like, the way that you described it was like your mindset was perfect.
for winning. What do you mean?
Well, the way that you were like taking off the edge, being like, hey, how I'm treating this is like I'm treating this like an
Yes.
open mat.
Yeah.
Like,
So for the one that I missed because I ate bad food, that was my mindset. But for every other competition that I've done before, my mindset was more like, I'm going there to win. I don't care how I win. You know, like
sorry, I'm still of that crappy mindset, I
yeah.
guess. Is that not good?
The only thing with that is that if you don't win, then you hate yourself or you're going to be
Right.
hard on yourself, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
because you're so just focused on getting the outcome that you want, that if you don't get the outcome that you want, in my case, I'm a super sore loser. I don't want to talk to anyone. Any one of my teammates that comes up to me and says, good job, I'm going to be like, yo, fuck off, dude. I lost. What are you talking about? Good job. You know?
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's just kind of an asshole way to be. And when you are that way, you don't even get to learn the lessons of competing that you could be learning if you didn't have a shitty attitude.
I understand. I guess you are taking it to an extreme. That's not an extreme that I partake in.
Yeah.
Like I can lose and I I lose and then I'll look at the tape and I'll be like, all right, this is what I have to get better at. This is what I have to
Exactly,
do at,
yeah.
and it's almost right away.
That's good. I don't do that.
Yeah, like I
Well,
don't.
I want to change that about myself, but in the past when I've lost, I've always been, you know, just, I want to isolate, you know, and
Yeah.
I almost want to do it again right away because I want to make up for the loss. You know, I'm not even going to take the time to think about why I lost. I'm just like, fuck that. I'm better than that. I want to do it again. I want to win, which isn't the right attitude because you actually don't learn. You don't learn the lesson that you could have.
Yes.
when you do that.
I mean, that's 100% true. But like, all right. So now what are we saying here? We're saying that pre-competition. What is the subscription here for our people? What do you think? I know there is an element there of like, based on our conversation, where we're mindset in this scenario is prepping yourself, one, to show up on that mat and be able to at least give the most that you can in terms of your jiu-jitsu prowess. Like, you need to be able to deliver the most that you can. Are you going to deliver 100% like when like there's no pressure? Probably not. But you need to be within a certain mindset that's going to help you output as much of your quality jiu-jitsu as possible. So in order to be that, like, there is a certain mindset that you need to fall under, and it definitely cannot revolve around anything that is fearful or anything that is outcome oriented or anything that is um, just an excuse, if I can use it that way, like a self-sabotaging kind of excuse of like, hey, like, none of that should be your focus. Like, that's called the red bucket. Like, the red bucket is going to be those things that devastate your mindset. Like, there are other mindsets that literally can just bring you more towards more of a higher output of your quality jujitsu.
Right.
And that's things like, okay, I'm I have a good game. Like, I'm proud of my game. I'm feeling good. Whether I win or I lose, that's going to be okay. This is like an open mat. I perform well in open mat. Like, everything that you just finished describing are things that and thoughts that are going to allow you to output to your closer to your maximum potential.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
And in terms of like actual now routine,
Yeah.
like, is there something, because you gave me some
Yeah.
powerful advice that honestly
Yeah.
I didn't think before, dude, and when I experienced it, changed my day for me. You remember?
Yeah, I do.
What did you tell me then?
So this is something that I saw on like an Instagram video or something like that, and
Bless that person.
yeah. I don't remember who it is, but it was about. So look, imagine this, right? When do you have your best rolls in the gym? It's normally at an open mat, and it's normally like maybe like your second or third roll of the night, and it's because you're warmed up, right? Your body's warmed up, you're loose, you've done jujitsu, so you have like muscle memory that kicked in, and you've played your game a few times, so you're warmed up.
Yeah, your body is in the zone.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
So before competing at a competition, I think it's important to actually have some like flow roll rounds with a partner to get your heart rate up, right? Like almost to a max, okay? And then have it come back down. Maybe you want to do that maybe like 45 minutes before your first match, because you don't want your first match in competition to be the first time you do jujitsu that day.
I know.
You know, like when you train jujitsu, you put your body in not in
Extreme.
and also you're like kneeling down. It's a lot. It's not something that you do regularly in your day.
Yeah.
So you want to do that before you step on the mat for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I that feeling of like, I don't want my heart rate to peak in my first match.
Yeah.
Dude, that was such a big deal. Like, as soon as you were like, hey, Abby, and you gave me that advice, a part of me, and this is the self-sabotage part of me, so you, like, I don't know, there's the John Jones type, but part of me is like, I'm not going to warm up, I'm just going to kind of, then I was like, whoa. Like, Max is telling you, like, let's, like, we're a team here, all right, let's do this. So I started warming up with you, and as soon as I started doing the movements and you were just allowing me to kind of like flow from like an open guard to like a guard pass and then into like a submission, like as soon as I started repping those out, man, I could feel not only like I could feel getting warmed up, but I honestly felt like my confidence started going back up, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna crush this.
Yeah.
Like it's a weird thing where I was like, hello, Abby, do you remember who you are? Like, you are good at this. Like, it was, and I was just going through the motions, and that was that kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but that there's like a feeling I get when I'm like, I used to get the same feeling when I used to play hockey, like and like in like big matches or whatnot. Like, there's like a dump that ends up going into like my limbs.
Yeah.
Like, whether it be like my legs or my hands, like things start to feel a little heavier. And as soon as I started warming up and going through the motions, and my mind started kind of like getting behind me almost, and telling me like, hey, like, dude, yeah, remember all of this stuff that you're capable of doing, like, let's keep going. Like, that was even dissipating. It didn't completely leave, obviously, but I definitely felt like I was, there's one thing about like getting your head in the zone, but in this moment, like, I was getting my
Your body
body
in the
in the
zone. Yeah,
zone.
yeah.
And it was like the marriage of the two. Because I had been, prior to you telling me, hey, Abby, let's warm up, like, I had been like just kind of listening to like the kind of stuff that gets me in the zone. Like, I like these motivational stuff from like certain people, like athletes, Michael Jordan and blah blah. Like, that puts my headspace in the like, yo, let's do this. But again, like, I was missing the body,
The physical
the
part.
physical, you know. And then as soon as I started kind of flowing through those motions with you, and then with JP, I was getting so pumped. I was like, oh man, I'm ready, you
Yeah.
know. And like, I was ready to assert myself. It was a first for me, if I'm being really honest.
I mean, dude, that might be the formula, right? I think that is the formula. You have to, there's the preparation the day before, right? You eat well, you sleep well, you wake up, you weigh in. After that, there's mindset. Whatever you were doing in your mind, right? Like, you just remind yourself, I'm good at jujitsu. I train a lot. I know my game. When I'm at open mat, I get good results. This isn't different than this, you know? And then there's the physical. Find yourself a training partner that you trust,
Yes.
right? And do some flow roll, you
Yes.
know?
This is the hard part, though, Max.
Yeah.
Is like, you and JP, literally both of you were tens in terms of being the body that, like, you were allowing like the mistake, and then you were allowing me to do my subs. Like, finding that person is like a gem, because some people will actually roll with you. You guys were just letting
Yeah.
me work, and then giving me the exact right reaction, and then realizing, okay, Abby has a submission right now, just letting me flow through it. Like, finding that person is not super easy, but like, I was blessed that day, because both you and JP were giving it to me perfectly. But yeah, that's part of the formula. Finding somebody. Sorry for cutting you off.
No,
It's-
I mean,
but
man.
that's such a hard find, dude.
Yeah, but look, if you know that you're warming up a training partner for competition, you know what your role is. You're not trying to win, you're trying to let him work, right? So you're still gonna have a bit of balance, but if he has all the grips for a sweep, you don't break the grips and start to pass.
Yeah.
You let him get the sweep, and then once you've been swept, you frame up. You know, you give a bit of resistance, but again, once you see that your training partner is trying to do a certain pass, and he has everything set up, you don't counter.
No.
You let him pass.
Yes.
You know, like, if you want to give him like a bit of counter, right? Like, I think a few times
Yes.
I like.
Yeah, you
I
wanted
like,
to take me in another direction.
yeah, you know, like, you can turtle, you can grab a single leg, let's
Exactly.
say. But if he sprawls out, don't
not keep
don't
going.
chase the other leg, or
Yeah,
don't cut
yeah,
the corner
yeah,
hard.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
not trying to take him down.
You're 100% right. And again, it was like the perfect thing for what I needed. And I think for what it's worth, like, it really was like my physical body now went through the motions, like almost like riding a bike, and then it caught up to where my mental was already, because like I was listening to like the kind of stuff that gets me like pumped up. And just to say, like, for anybody, like, listen to whatever makes you feel courageous, whatever makes you feel powerful. Like, I have a friend who was like, what was the song? It was like Promiscuous Girl. I was like, Promiscuous Girl? That's your thing. So, yeah, all right, go for it. Like whatever makes you.
Was it a dude or a girl?
It was a girl in this case, but like whatever makes you kind of like get those happy hormones and feel good and like feel like do, whether it's music, whether it's like, I don't know, some sort of like motivational stuff, videos, that like the kind of stuff that I like to listen to. I know Amen and me, Amen from the gym, like
Yeah.
we're both from that cloth. Like sometimes he sends me those things like, life is hard. And I'm like, yes, let's do it. But like, I like that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
like I like hearing those voice of people who are like, they're going through it, and they're telling you like burn the boats, like the Goggins stuff, type thing. Like that does it for me, it just puts me in the right mindset. And it just the warming up, the way that we did it.
Yeah.
It was this crazy thing. It was like my body caught up to where my brain already was.
I think the idea is that you don't want your body to be doing jiu-jitsu on your first match because you're going to get a huge adrenaline dump.
That's so
right. So if you like trick your body into thinking like, hey, we're doing jiu-jitsu now and your heart rate is up, you're just going to get less of that big adrenaline dump after your first match.
Yeah,
is that what you felt?
Dude, in other tournaments, again, I've just been lucky enough to be able to manage that. Like, I felt those giant adrenaline dumps, and in this tournament, I didn't feel it as much. And look, like, I'm not saying this like in a funny way, but when you were there, like my matches didn't last long.
True.
So I didn't get really the chance to use so much force where I had that huge like fight or flight, like adrenaline dump.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think that I've reached a point in my jiu-jitsu where I could somewhat control that, and I try to stay more technical. But my matches didn't last long, and you bank off of the momentum that you've created for yourself as well. And I did that at my last blue belt tournament. It was the same idea. It was a grappling industries as well. It was like I had a quick first match, and then I was like feeling good about the victory, feeling good about like how the match went. And then like these other guys are going through these battles in their matches. And in my head, I'm like, oh man, you must be pretty tired. Like my match was 30 seconds, so like I'm good, like, and that allowed me to kind of maintain this, like, it's like I had a head start in a race, and I was able to just keep banking on that. So I never really, in the last couple of tournaments, I've never really had this huge adrenaline dump moment where I've had to really fight early on in my match to just kind of stay afloat. But had I, maybe I would have had like this massive adrenaline dump, because you're like, oh, I just barely got out of that, but my matches in this particular tournament didn't go that way, so I didn't have that.
Yeah. It's so different than my matches, bro.
Yeah.
My matches are all, they almost, no, hold on. No, I got a few subs as a white belt, like arm bars and stuff, but normally, dude, it's just
grind.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
It's all the way, man.
Yeah, like that's where you're just like, yo, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. It
if
depends.
you have the big adrenaline dump.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I think the adrenaline dump is everything. Like if you can, honestly, if you can warm up before, just like we said, get your heart rate going up maybe 40 minutes before your first match, I don't think you're going to have a big adrenaline dump.
No, it won't be as massive because it's exactly what you said, and I'm sure the science backs this, is you've already peaked once. So now it's like you're going to catch yourself, and maybe it's going to be a little bit lower, but like the next peaks are not going to be, the fall from that peak is not going to be as high. So you've already given yourself that one peak, like in terms of like energy expenditure. So like that's a super smart thing to do. Super smart thing to do. But again, it has to be managed like within context and flowed out of you, let's call it that. Like you need to flow your adrenaline dump out of you. I'm copywriting that term, Max.
All right. Flow. All right.
Flow the adrenaline dump out of you, like that's part of the strategy.
I gotta tell you, bro, I gotta sign up to Mastermind. Just because, again, it's not about winning. It's about I need to compete.
Yeah, and I think like we should put another one on the radar and see
Mastermind.
maybe give yourself a little. I mean, Mastermind's in.
Is it next weekend?
I think so, dude. Like I think give yourself a little bit of
Fuck.
I guess give ourselves like a month or something. You know, fix some of that diet.
Is it really? Yeah. Plus, I'm sick now. I don't know what
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm
yeah.
sick.
Yo, I'm pretty sick. This is
Ah, fuck, bro. Yeah, but then the next one is gonna be a long time from now. You know.
well, that's not true. You know, like if we're willing to go to America, they're all around, dude. There's like there's one in Syracuse. There's a bunch, dude.
Yeah.
Not far, like 4 hours or whatever. So, anyways, we have options.
Yeah, we'll see.
But
That
I mean,
damn
that's
America, dude. I just gotta eat after the competition.
yeah, dude. That's like the dream.
Cracker Barrel was so good,
It
man.
was delicious.
Dude, honestly, that weekend, because on the ride home, I ate more, and instantly I was like, I feel like shit. What was wrong with my stomach?
I mean, I think it's like a combination of things. Could be that you had a stressful week, blah 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 blah. You ate a bunch of candy the night before. You haven't been sleeping good. I don't know what. Like, there's a lot going on in
Anyways.
life that like brings it all
Man,
together.
that food is so good, bro.
Oh my
How
God,
can
it's
you
so
not?
good, Max.
Yeah.
Guys, guess what we got? Mine looks like a simple box,
Yeah.
and it is. But this is the first official white belt. Let me check for typos, Max. We did it, bro. No typos. White belt questions podcast with Abby and Max box. We are going to, and there's a little,
There will be.
there will be
Yeah.
There's gonna be
An opening. Yeah,
an
yeah.
opening somewhere where people are going to be able, and a little pen and pad where people are going to be able to deliver us some cool questions. We even have like a little statement in the back over here. We invite everyone, beginners and advanced practitioners alike, to submit their questions for a chance to be featured on the podcast. Click. No question is too big or too small, so don't hesitate to ask. Guys, Max put a lot of effort into these boxes. Look, we have two. So we're going to leave them somewhere. We're going to cut a little slit in the box. There's going to be a little pen and paper. For those of you who are very childish, please don't leave us nudes in here.
No, you can leave the nudes. You can write whatever you want. You know, it's a free country.
All right, free country it up. And yeah, we're going to leave these at the gym. Obviously, for our digital fans, if we have any, you guys can always just comment like anywhere on the pod, on the threads and stuff like that to be able to leave us questions. But we wanted to have some physical questions as well.
Yeah, it's easier. It's
Dude,
easier.
you know what's going to be really hilarious? One day
Yeah.
we're going to like, let's check the box. Man, nothing in the box. That's
No, I
always
don't
the
think so,
best.
man. We have so many white belts here, you know, and then there's so many questions.
No, I just love the visual. of
We
like,
got nothing.
Well, we got nothing.
Ah,
All
fuck
right. Screw it. And we always have to check the GSP door. Max?
Damn, dude, I just saw a typo.
Oh,
Yeah.
no!
Oh wait, no, never
like?
mind. Yeah, it's
No, that's a
one
good
word.
word.
Okay,
Yeah, it is one word. Should we check the door? Is he there?
No,
Is he coming today?
no GSP,
Not at all.
not today.
I mean, there was another dude who came, but he definitely wasn't GSP.
No,
No.
not even close.
Well, maybe no, not even close. Yeah, maybe one day GSP will walk through that door. Maybe.
That's the dream.
It is a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll show up. All right, homie.
Yeah, I think there was something else. There was something else I wanted to say, but it's slipping
About
my mind now.
Are we talking about the questions?
Yeah, I think so. All right.
I mean, we're gonna have a
Anyways.
little slit on the box here. We're gonna invite people with a little pen and pad to kind of write out their questions. For the digital people, they can on Instagram.
Oh yeah, that's
There
the
we
thing.
go.
That's it. Okay. We're on Spotify.
Oh damn, we made it on Spotify.
Yeah.
So you guys don't have to freaking leave a YouTube video. open
Yeah,
all the
exactly.
time.
So maybe this episode or the next is going to be on Spotify, so you guys will be able to listen to it on your whatever phone or headphones or all
Damn.
that. Yeah.
We're mainstream now.
Yeah, we're trying.
We're trying. All right, Max, let's get you some food and let's get you
Yeah,
to bed.
I'm fucking dead.
Yeah, good job today,
All
homie.
right, guys. Yeah.
Later, guys. Pew, pew, pew.
Wow.